Welcome to Mental Chillness Club, a mental health podcast and a Popcorn Pour production. I am Candice, your Mental Chillness Club host, and it's time to get chit-chatty. Hello, welcome back. Maybe welcome, I don't know. Did you listen to episode 1? If not, welcome. If you did, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. We've got more fun stuff to tackle today, and it's going to be all about meditation. But before we do that, I want to give a little shout out to Lee Crow, my bestie. She is a legend, and we had a great chat actually about this podcast and what I'm trying to achieve here. And we spoke about meditation, and this is dedicated to you, I guess, this first episode. Can you dedicate podcasts to people? If you can, I'm doing it. If you can't, I'm doing it. So yeah, dedicated to you. In addition to my dedication, I also wanted to explain a little bit about my experience with meditation before we get right into it, just so you kind of know where I'm standing and what kind of knowledge I have with meditation. So I come from a rather spiritual family on my father's side, really spiritual, I suppose. My dad has lived in the bush now for about 15 years, off the grid, lives off the land. He has a beautiful cannabis farm. He is dedicated to helping others. He's really gone large with his last venture. And so I've had a lot of really awesome spiritual guidance, I guess, from that side of the family. Okay, great story. Oh my God, I'm going to start with this story. So when I kind of was dipping my toes in to the self-help type of area of my life, I was kind of, I guess, having a little bit of a mini crisis at the age of 26, 27. Some would say it was my Saturn returning. And I reached out to my dad for help. And he said, look, I'm not really into this type of stuff, but we did this ceremony and it kind of really helped us to scope out where we want to go in our spiritual journeys. And he said, there is one in Melbourne. It's going to be, out in the bush. It's a weekend. I think you should go and do it. At the time, I was kind of like, yeah, Dad, come on, just give me some advice that I can do right now. I want it right now. But it kind of pressurized to the point where on the day of the event, I decided, fuck it, I've got to go. I'm going. I need something to kind of sort out this crisis. So without any knowledge at all of what this ceremony was, I roll up in my car. There's a whole bunch of people, rather hippie looking people. And I'm thinking, fuck, I'm right out of place here. I've got this bright red sweater on. I'm looking awfully colorful. Everyone's here with their comfortable gear. They've got blankets, super comfy. And I walk in, I have a sit down, feeling a little bit out of place. And this fellow comes up to me and says, hi, welcome. Have you tried the medicine before? And I'm thinking, the medicine? The fuck? What medicine? No, I've not tried any medicine. And so obviously I said to him, no, actually, I have no idea what this is about, but my dad told me to come, so I've come. Well, as the evening progresses, I learn quite quickly that while sitting in a ceremony circle, by the way, that it is an ayahuasca ceremony. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, Dad, way to throw me right into the deep end, with this ayahuasca journey. And for some of you, you might be thinking, whoa, that is so extreme. And I guess it is kind of extreme, but what that ceremony did for me was actually spark this whole era of self-journey for me. So as I had mentioned in the earlier episode, at around age 27, I had decided to go and live in the bush and have a sabbatical for a year. Well, this was the moment that really sparked that start of the journey for me. So this ceremony, it was extremely well done. If you could say professional and ayahuasca in the same sentence, I would put them in the same sentence. It was done by a South American shaman who couldn't actually speak English, but he had a team of helpers, I guess that you could say, who were in charge of kind of looking after all of our comfort, all of our health, and all of our safety. So this ceremony went all night, but you could barely feel that it went all night. And yes, it was taking ayahuasca, and the idea was that if you barf, that you're kind of coming to realizations. And I had a lot of shit that I brought to the table that I didn't even prepare for to come out. And, I kind of surrendered to the experience and yeah, I barfed. So The point of me telling you this is that since that ceremony, I've had quite a bit of experience with meditation. I've tried as much as humanly possible to kind of incorporate it into my daily life, and I've tried all sorts of different techniques. So, for example, I joined as a Zen meditation group, which is sitting in stillness for long periods of time despite your legs falling off. I've also been lucky enough to meditate alongside some master meditators who have given me some really awesome, loving, and nurturing kind of advice on my meditation journey. And in saying that, I'm no grandmaster meditator, but I am extremely passionate about getting people who don't really have an understanding about it into it, because it really can change your life. It can really make a difference in your day-to-day life. Side note, they're not actually called grandmaster meditators, just meditation masters, but obviously pop culture has carefully molded my life, but it does kind of sound way cooler. So, yeah, we're sticking with it. So, back on track. What I'm not vibing with now is all of the pressure surrounded by the idea of meditation. Like, if you're brand new to it, there can be so much information out there that is off-putting and, can give you anxiety. And for fuck's sake, meditation's the last thing that should be giving you anxiety. Anyway, this brings me to today's glorious subject of the buzzword that is meditation and how BS the whole fad has become. Although the word fad implies that it's short-lived, where in fact meditation has existed for thousands of years. But the earlier definition of fad says an intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something. And in that regard, I think that we can use the word fad. So obviously meditation is nothing new. To follow my previous use of the word fad, nearly every religion practices meditation, but it's really not exclusive for spiritual folk or religious folk, actually. It's for all of us. But my gripe is with the pressure that comes with being told to meditate. Like, it shouldn't be filled with pressure. I mean, they're two opposites, really, meditate and pressure. Anyway, it shouldn't be hard, and it's really not that hard. It should be an enjoyable experience that basically helps mold us into epic versions of ourselves. So, I don't know, let's call it the great meditation pressure of the 2000s. I've coined it here first. So, I don't know, every man and his dog really is advising us to meditate. My therapist, your therapist, every influencer on the gram, the TV, if you watch it, it's everywhere. And then are we doing it correctly? Fucking hell, everyone's got an opinion about that too. Yeah, I mean, it can feel in order to meditate correctly, we must wake up super early, find our way to the great mystical mountain of the world's highest temple, hike for 12 days, reach the temple, sit down on the mat made out of gold that you mined with your hands from the gold mine in Karratha, Western Australia, open the doors to the fifth dimension, astral project yourself up the stairways to heaven, knock 3 times, not 4 times, not 2 times. You won't be let in then. Knock 3 times, then offer the Heavenly Father the hair of your newborn child before you've even reached the stage of starting your meditation. Maybe that's an over-exaggeration, sure, but today I'm going to cut this shit down, going to make it really simple, because guess what? It is. Just sit down and gently focus. Voila, you're finished. I mean, you can stand even if you really wanted to. It doesn't matter. The point isn't if you can handstand scorpion or not, right? To be honest, I had to Google that. I Googled the hardest yoga pose, and apparently it's the handstand scorpion. There was a picture if you wanted to Google it. Yeah. Anyway, the point is to focus your attention and to enjoy the process, man. That's what it's all about. That's it. So once you nailed that, then we can talk about developing a deeper sense of mindfulness, sure. But I guess we'll chat about that a little later on. For those of you who have your lovely little chakras lined up in a row, well, you've nailed it. But stay tuned anyway, because this chat will be fun. I can guarantee that. And who knows, you might even learn something. I learned something actually while researching a bit about meditation for this podcast. I think what's really important here is to chat about what meditation is, what it does, and to simplify it so that we can have a better understanding, A, and then B, look upon it in a different light. So maybe we can get a little bit more excited about actually doing it. Here's something that I hear so often. I hear people say, I can't meditate because when I try, I think too much. Dude, if you're aware that you're thinking too much, you've already smashed it. You've already done it, right? So you can't back out now. You've nailed level 1. That being said, let's get stuck into today's episode. Level 1, meditate or die. Okay, so that episode name actually comes from a t-shirt I got from a very good friend of mine, Dan. If you're listening, I don't know, maybe I'll have to send you this episode. He was teaching me how to downhill skate, and he bought me a shirt that said skate or die. Turns out I nearly skated and died many times. I'll put the pics on the Instagram. Anyway. So today's juicy bits, we're going to cover, number 1, deconstructing what meditation is. We're going to get a little sciencey, just a little bit though. Number 2 is we're going to bust down common myths and misconceptions. 5 myths, actually. That's what we're going to cover. And then number 3, we're going to break our new practice down into 6 easy steps. Bum, 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 bum. Let's begin. Do you know what? I might even keep that. That was pretty cool. Or I might put an extra sound effect in. Who knows? But meditation, what is it? Naturally, we're going to consult the Google because that's just what we do. Headspace says meditation isn't about becoming a different person, a new person, or even a better person. It's about training an awareness and getting a healthy sense of perspective. You're not trying to turn off your thoughts or feelings. You're learning to observe them without judgment. And eventually, you may start to better understand them as well. So observing your thoughts without judgment, that's something when I first started meditating, I got really caught up on. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know, you're sitting there quietly meditating and a thought pops up into your head about your mate's new dress that she just bought and you're like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe she bought that. That's fugly. Okay, well, if you're judging your mates like that anyway, you're an asshole, but YOLO, we all do it. So what it means is to become witness of our thoughts without engaging in them. So you think about your mate's new dress and that's it. That's where it ends. You don't allow voice number 2 to roll in and say anything about it. Rest assured, if you're new to meditation, voice number 2, let's call her Linda. Sorry to all the Lindas out there, but that's my number 2 voice. She'll roll in and have a thing or two to say about it. But that's the point. After time, Linda will shut the fuck up and won't be such a narc. Side note, that Linda inside your head's actually you, believe it or not. That is your internal dialogue. But my internal dialogue has a lot more sass than my external dialogue does, hence calling her Linda. Right on. Well, let's talk about types of meditation, shall we? Yeah, believe it or not, there's a few types of meditation. Actually, after a quick Google, I'm seeing 5 types, 6 types, 16 types, 23 types. I've got anxiety seeing Google answers, for fuck's sake. So let's simplify this too. Let's break it down into 2 of the most common types of meditation. Number 1, concentrative meditation. Oh, Lord. Okay. This involves focusing all of your attention on a specific thing while tuning out everything else around you. The goal is to really experience whatever you are focusing on, whether it be your breath, a specific word, or a mantra in order to reach a higher state of being. Number 2 is the buzzword mindfulness meditation, which includes, among others, both mindfulness-based stress reduction and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. Mindfulness can target different issues such as depression, which means that its focus may be different from practice to practice. Overall, it involves the state of being aware of and involved in the present moment and making yourself open, aware, and accepting. From here, naturally, there's all sorts of practices, like you've got spiritual meditation, movement meditation, mantra meditation, transcendental meditation, progressive relaxation, loving kindness meditation. I mean, you've got the bulks, right? But today we are staying chill, sticking with our first favorite 2, and maybe we'll go deeper about future levels of meditation with further episodes. Right, let's go. What meditation can do for you? This is where we're going to get a little sciencey, very basic sciencey. Actually, as my partner would say, it's elementary level sciencey. He says that when he's explaining something rather complex, just to rile me up. He knows it riles me up. He'll sit there with a smile on his face. I'm like, you. So, meditation can strengthen areas of the brain responsible for memory, learning, attention, and self awareness. The practice can also help calm down your sympathetic nervous system. Over time, mindfulness meditation can increase cognition, memory, and attention. My memory is shot. I don't know about you, but mine's shot. I've been meditating for a few years now and still shot. Anyway, might be hereditary. Who knows? So this is where my research got extremely sciencey. I mean, we're talking big words that I couldn't really pronounce. And I tried to actually pop this in the first round of edits in this podcast, but I think I don't know, it just sounded too complex. And even I was getting bored listening to myself. So what I'm going to do is kind of, I don't know, dumb it down, I suppose. Not saying that we're dumb. Obviously, we're not dumb, but in a way that's easy to digest because obviously, as established, I'm not a doctor, nor am I a therapist, and I'm definitely not a scientist. So, how can meditation strengthen areas of our brain responsible for memory, learning, attention, and self-awareness? And how can it increase cognition, memory, and attention in simple terms? Studies have found that meditation may lead to increases in grey matter density in the hippocampus and other frontal regions of the brain, as well as increase anterior insular and cortical thickness. So, oh my goodness. If my sister's listening to this, she'll be able to understand these things. Very proud sister I am. She's now a doctor. She graduated, whereas I was very lucky just to get out of school. A little bit of a rebel, you could say. Anyway, so these things that we just mentioned, in particular the grey matter that we just mentioned, the Google says that an increase in density of your grey matter all up in there allows for high processing and further mental development of an individual. So, I mean, that sounds positive. And this grey matter happens to be up on our hippocampus. And what is our hippocampus? According to the Google, our hippocampus is a complex brain structure embedded deep into the temporal lobe. It has a major role in learning and memory. So boom, that also sounds pretty positive. So as stated before, meditation can also increase the anterior insular and cortical thickness. What are those? What are those? If anyone's familiar with Bash the Entertainer, he was on the Facebook for a little while there, making videos pointing at people's shoes and saying, what are those? And his laugh. Oh, his laugh. Where is he? Where is Bash? Anyway, so the anterior insula, what is that? Mount Sinai School of Medicine, New York, has for the first time shown that one area of the brain called the anterior insular cortex is the activity center of human empathy, whereas other areas of the brain are not. So there you go. That sounds positive as well, doesn't it? Gosh, empathetic. We're getting smarter. All right. And finally, cortical thickness. What is that? This is a direct read. So if I fudge up any of the words, yep. Neuroimaging research indicates that human intellectual ability is related to the brain structure, including the thickness of the cerebral cortex. Most studies indicate that general intelligence, that's us, is positively associated with cortical thickness in areas of association cortex distributed throughout both brain hemispheres. So there's one more pretty funky benefit that I had read on my travels throughout the internet, and that is that mindfulness meditation can deactivate your sympathetic nervous system, aka your fight or flight response. You know what? A great example, probably the best example I have ever seen in my entire life of the flight and flight response is embedded deeply in the intraweb. It's probably one of my favorite vines in the entire world. If you don't know what vines are, I'm really sorry. You missed out on a short-lived vine fad on social media. It was probably the best era of social media I've ever been a part of. Yeah. It really was a time. But there's a great video of a bloke rolling in to the kitchen, minding his own business, and what I can only imagine is his sisters and his sisters' mates trying to jump scare him. Well, this bloke is a fighter. He, like in a fraction of a millisecond, he rolls out in this like mad karate pose, ready to fuck shit up. Oh my God. So Please Google "man goes in a karate position because he gets scared" Vine. It's the best 7-second video of your life. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, that's a fight or flight response visually demonstrated by our beloved Vine community. I think that we can all agree that meditation has been scientifically researched and is going to benefit us, right? Can we agree on that? I can agree on that. You know, my sister once said, don't bring up anything unless you can cite it from a scholarly article. So this one's for you, sis. The former information was attained by me from an article by the Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York and an article by Writer's Rain from University of UW. Okay, covered all bases. We've covered what meditation is and the benefits of meditation. Cool. So to summarize, all meditation is to learn how to quietly observe your thoughts without having Linda put her 2 cents in worth. And the benefits of that is to chill us out and potentially even strengthen areas of our brain responsible for memory, learning, attention, and self-awareness. Now, let's debunk some of the myths, Mythbuster style. Myth number 1, meditation must be practiced in silence. Busted. The first thing that we think of, right, when we hear meditation is sitting in silence. It's a dude sitting on a rock, half nude, in silence. Well, that's so not the case. We can also enter a state of flow and access a meditative calm when walking, when running, when humming, singing, doing the dishes, making epic homemade salsa with your homemade tomatoes, which I haven't stopped thinking about since I first tried some. Sherry, that's a shout out to you. You may have noticed getting into a flow doing these things, and you may have noticed like a sense of calm while doing them too. Turns out you're a meditation pro and you didn't even know it. Myth number 2. The goal of meditation is to clear your mind. Busted! As we literally just mentioned, it's about watching your thoughts. It's about watching Linda's input and eventually learning more control over what happens in there. So if you're that person that says you think too much, good. We all do. And you're already doing it if you're aware of that much. Let the thoughts come. Let them slip away. Let others come. Let others slip away with as little interjection from Linda as possible. But remember, she's a mouthy bitch, so you're probably always going to get her having her 2 cents worth. Myth number 3. Meditation isn't working if your mind wanders. Busted. And we just busted it in myth number 2 too, so why the fuck did I add it? I really wanted to drive this point home, then walk it into its little house, tuck it into its little bed and give it a kiss on the forehead. If your mind wanders and you're noticing it, you're doing it. As stated earlier, the point is to be aware of it. Myth number 4. You need to meditate for 30 minutes for any benefit. Fucking hell, that is so busted. Busted custard. How fucking daunting is it trying to do 30 minutes of something when you're new at it? Like right now, 30 minutes on a treadmill for me? Call 911. Today, I sat with myself for as long as I wanted, which was literally only 5 minutes. Then the ants in my pants started crawling around, and that was it. But 5 minutes for me was ultra beneficial. I think when you're first starting out, you can use a 5-minute guided meditation online, or even just sit with yourself and watch all of the hilarious BS floating through your head for as long as you feel like. Don't ever put pressure on yourself here. Forget that. Wait till you've got the grasp on the idea, only if you want. Then start challenging yourself with longer practices. But for the love of God, don't put a time pressure on yourself with meditation. And finally, myth number 5. Meditation is difficult. Busted. After this episode, hopefully you feel it's busted too. But meditation is the act of putting the mind on an object, right? Or focus for an extended period of time. So we already do that with Netflix, with Instagram, and more. The point of meditation is to meditate on something that will change our lives or help us grow in some way. Inventing Anna? Probs not. Unless your dream is to become an international grand larcenist, then maybe. But I think you get the point here. So, wow. Myths busted. Now we're getting into the awesome part. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting on is life instructions. A friend of mine actually just bought a paddleboard on a whim and was joking around saying, who the fuck put him in charge? He's like, who's in charge here? Anyway, right now, you can let go because I'm in charge just for the next little bit here. Let's get into it. Let's break our new practice down into 6 easy steps. Step number 1, forget about any of the pressure that you've ever felt, that you've ever had in regards to meditation. Meditation is easy and it's way easier than we think. Step number 2, start today. Start today by taking 5 minutes to yourself. Or allocate that 5 minutes just to yourself. No TV, no music, no husbands or wives or pets or boyfriends or girlfriends or partners or housemates, whatever. No one nagging us. Let them know that you need 5 minutes of peace. You can sit, you can stand, you can handstand scorpion, whatever. You probably might feel more comfy just chilling on the couch though, or even on the floor. But forget about your backs up straight. Forget about your hands in the Wu-Tang Clan sign. Just for today, we're going to be as comfy as we like without any distraction. Step number 3, don't speak. Just zip it. Focus on your breathing because that's just somewhere that we can point our attention to. Think about the air coming in. Think about that goodness flowing out. How does it feel? Where is it going inside of you? In your lungs, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. Think about your breath. Step number 4, let the thoughts roll in. You'll keep getting distracted by thoughts. No two ways about it. It's just going to happen, right? But just keep remembering about your breath. You're now aware of your thoughts coming in and floating around your head. There might be so many thoughts that you can't keep up. And just try and keep Linda at bay, who's going to want to have a blab or two about all of your thoughts. Step number 5, stay as long as you like for this. Honestly, take as long as you like. If you can only do a minute, great, you did a minute, right? If you can do 5, awesome. If you do 10, sweet. But stay as long as you like. And step number 6, oh, this is my favorite. Step number 6 is try my meditation, which is going to be released directly after this, and it's going to be titled Meditation for Linda. We're going to dedicate that little one to Linda. All right, guys. Whoa, we got our second ever episode out there for all of your ears, to bless your ears. Yeah, we've achieved great things today. I hope we have demystified the great idea of meditation, and I hope that you see meditation or die isn't really the choice you have to make. Do the former so you feel at peace when the latter comes around. All right, guys, see you again next week. If you're loving our weekly chit-chat, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so we can get this podcast pumping. Also, make sure to check out my website at mentalchillness.club and follow me on the gram for some mental chillness eye candy. Catch you around like a rissole.